So he answered and said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself." Luke 10:27. So the main things that stick out is loving the Lord our God and loving our neighbor as yourself, which is just loving people. And the Bible tells us how to love God and how to love people, which I'll be reading. To love God is to completely devote yourself and to commit yourself to God. In John 14:15, Jesus says, "If you love me, keep my commandments." And John 14:23, Jesus says, "Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching." In my personal experience, when I started to read the Bible every day and pray every day, I naturally fell in love with God. And as a result of that, obeying God, even when it felt hard, it came naturally. I naturally wanted to obey God because I loved him. Even when it was hard, like forgiving people. That was a hard task for me to do, but I chose to do it because I wanted to please God and it was the right thing to do. So to love God is basically to make him your number one priority. And to love people Romans 12:10 says, "Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves." And in Philippians 2:3-4, it says, "Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others." So basically, to love other people is to treat others how you want to be treated. So some examples of valuing others above yourselves might be helping clean up when you don't want to help clean. It might be letting someone have the last dessert when you want it. And it might even be being kind to someone at school, to the person that no one else might like. Love is not always easy, but it's a choice we need to make because that's obeying God and it pleases him. And Jesus demonstrated the ultimate form of love because he died on the cross for us. And imagine being tortured to death. No, I don't think anyone wants to go through that, but he literally denied himself completely and gave up his life because he loves us and didn't want us to go to hell. He wanted us to go to heaven with him. That's very intense, and he went through all of that because he loves us. So, yeah. Do you guys have anything to add?
That's huge, and maybe only God could do something like that, but how can we as just regular people love God with all our heart and with all our soul and with all our strength and with all our mind? How can we love our neighbor? I wonder. Yeah. Does anybody have an idea about how you could love God or how you could love your neighbor? Yes.
You just send a note to them.
Send a note to them. I like that idea. I really like that idea. I love getting notes.
Yeah, being kind. Does anyone else have an idea?
I think we can also love God by worshiping him, like we just did.
Yes.
I bet that makes him feel loved.
Stephen, do you have any ideas?
Well, there's always a choice between liking somebody and not liking them. And some people that I love have not liked because of their attitude. But still you choose the path to love them and try and lead them in the right direction. It's a choice every day. And some people that we'll have interaction with, you'll be able to talk and such as that. Other people, if you just smile at them, I mean, and I can't count the number of times I'm walking in the mall or some way place, and I've got a half a mile, a half a smile on my face, and I'll make contact with somebody, and they'll actually, it's not actually like they get a jolt. They kind of get, and they get, it's kind of like, do I know them? Why are they smiling at me? Why are they friendly? And then they smile back, and smile can be a chain reaction.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so be looking out for ways that you can love people by treating them how you want to be treated. Okay, we can all read it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So he answered and said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Luke 10:27. Shall we read it again?
Yeah.
No harm.
Okay.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So he answered and said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Luke 10:27.
Does anybody want to try to say it without looking at
I
it?
want to.
You both can go, but you first, since you had your hand up first.
I need time to look at.
Just if I just,
Yeah, I have things on both sides.
you can just stand in front of it.
Okay.
So he answered, "You shall be kind."
There's 2 people that he commands us to love. Who created us?
God,
So Jesus tells us to love.
Jesus, God,
Yeah. And then he tells us to love.
you, the ones around you,
That's a good way
and
of putting it.
with
Yeah.
your soul and your strength and your mind and with your neighbor. I mean, and love your neighbor for yourself.
Yeah.
You
10:27.
10.
Good job. Do you want to try?
It starts off, so he said.
So he said,
Oh, so he answered and said, yeah.
What's the action?
Jesus,
No, the action that we're supposed to do.
Can you give her a clue again? That was a good clue.
Think-
Look up
think
there
of
at
this.
Jasmine, she's giving you a clue. Yeah. What do you do
What
with
does it
your heart?
symbolize? Starts with an L.
Love. Oh, Elisha's giving you a clue. Sounds like love.
What's the opposite of hate? Who are we supposed to love?
Jesus.
And?
Jesus.
And?
God.
And?
God.
And?
How do we love him?
He puts up.
That's one way.
And we pray.
That's another way. With all of our
Heart.
and our
Mind.
and our
Strength.
and who else are we supposed to love?
Jesus.
And?
Our God.
People were
It's not forever. No, I'll give you
How do we love your neighbor? Jimmy, you love the neighbor like your
Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Can we read it one more time all together?
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So he answered and said, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Luke 10:27.
That's very good.
No,
Does anybody else want to try it?
Yay! Leo wants up.
Okay.
So he answered and said, Love your Lord, your God, and with all your heart, all your strength, all your mind, and love your neighbor.
Good job.
Luke 10:27.
Do you want to try? No? You want to try?
So he answered and
It said to
love and God